Good morning. Hey, this is your host, Jeff Ski Kinsey, with a new episode of our podcast, which you will find over at FastChargeEnergy.com. It's under what we call news. So it's a blog, and in the blog, I also put a copy or a link, or actually embed the podcast inside the post for today, which is the 31st day of August, by the way. So if you had some things you wanted to get done for August, you still have a few hours left. Okay, days, no, a few hours. And then guess what? It's a whole new month and we get to start over. Today's podcast is brought to you by Rhino Island Media. That's also the website, rhinoisland.media. It's all about the EV space, actually all about EVSEs, which is EV, electric vehicle supply equipment, chargers. So check us out over at rhinoisland.media. A lot of exciting stuff in the works. Very little to show for it today, but stay tuned. Okay, what's really going on in the EV space? Here's what you need to understand. The traditional OEMs, people like General Motors, Ford, Volkswagen, you name it, traditional OEMs, which typically means ICE, internal combustion engine based cars, gasoline, right? I remember, I think it was Jim Farley, and Jim, if I'm wrong, correct me, but Jim said, look, and this was a few years ago, he goes, look, we know how to build cars, or he might have said vehicles, okay? That was true to some extent, Jim, okay? You knew how to build Ford F-150 trucks, okay? You were building something that the market wants, and that's important, okay? Don't ever forget the market in whatever it is you're doing, okay? So Ford was very good at that. Elon Musk comes along. Yes, okay, supposedly some other guys founded the company, and supposedly Elon threw them out. I don't think it happened quite that way, okay? There would not be a Tesla car today without Elon Musk. So if you want to understand how the company works, how it was truly founded and executed and became a thing that has become one of the most valuable companies in the history of mankind, you have to understand who Elon Musk is. But that's only slightly part of the message I'm trying to say. What you don't understand, think about this. And again, how do I know any of this? Because me and my partners have been studying this. We have over 10,000 hours. We have invested over 10,000 hours, which, as Malcolm Gladwell pointed out, I forget which the book was. Was it Blink? No. But over 10,000 hours studying, understanding, exploring EVs, not only in cars, but other vehicles, motorcycles, bicycles, the whole space. And here's what we know, because we've got some people on the inside that have shared some details with the world. People like Joe Justice. We know that every Tesla that rolls off the production line is different than the one that rolled off the line just 40 seconds before it. Now think about that. That is truly the definition of continuous improvement. That's right. They're improving the vehicles as they're being made. Okay. As Joe points out, he talks about most companies are defined by their budget process. And I think he quoted VW as having like a 7-year budget cycle. So if you want to introduce change, okay, you have to go through all kinds of gyrations. You set up this plan. You say, okay, I'm going to implement this amazing change. And then for 7 years, you don't touch it. That's an exaggeration, but not by much. Okay. Tesla, on the other hand, doesn't pick an arbitrary milepost, definitely not the budget. They look more at it as if, do we have money in the bank to do this? Yeah, okay. We got money in the bank? Then let's do it. Let's make the car better. Let's make this car better than the one we just made 40 seconds ago. Okay. Most of us have trouble getting our head around that concept. because we've not seen anything like it. Okay? It's like, think of SpaceX. They have this thing called Starlink, right? Internet access. I just saw a post earlier this week, maybe it was late last week, about the antenna that they use, the process of this, quote, directional antenna, the internal mechanism, far exceeds the capability of anything our military has. Okay? That's why Starlink was recently rated the number one internet provider in the country, if not the world. So, I said all that to say, if you're thinking about fast charging, either at home or on the road, then we ought to have a conversation. We can help. We've actually created a support group within FastCharge Energy to do that. We call it FastCharge Support. Imagine that. And let's do this. I'm going longer than I wanted. Let's cut to the chase. If you want to know what's going on in the EV space, then I suggest you follow the podcast, sign up for our newsletter, go to FastChargeEnergy.com, check it out. It's a work in progress. Soon we're going to have the equipment that we're reselling and equipment that we're designing, solutions that we're building for America, basically. Well, the 47 continental United States. We don't do business in California, Alaska, or Hawaii for a lot of reasons. But if you need help, reach out. You have not because you ask not.